What you reading? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. You don't say. Stay tuned, and I'll tell you the 2 books I just came out of. Hello, my name is Flo. This is the Grape Jelly Library, where we love to talk about books. Today we are going to talk about 2 books I never thought that I would ever have read in my lifetime, but I did, and today we're going to discuss those 2 books. They are both, I wouldn't say memoirs. No, I wouldn't say that at all. But then again, I kind of would. First of all, let me say that these are both books about 2 gentlemen. And these 2 gentlemen couldn't be further apart in their personalities. Yeah, so how is that? You know what? I'll tell you a little story real quick. Because I come from the 70s. And this is how we did things in the 70s. We lived across the street from a playground, house, tiny alley, playground. So literally look out the window and at any given point you could see what friends of yours are out there running around like hoodlums. Not bold kids. We weren't bold kids. We just, you know, it's just a term I used. The funny thing is, over at this playground, they had things like sliding boards and swings, and some call it a teeter-totter, some call it a seesaw, basketball court, water fountain outside. Yeah, a water fountain outside. At one point, there was a sprinkler system where you could run under the water and get all wet. Okay, so things like that. Merry-go-round, we all know about those, right? Well, anyways, I'm zeroing in and zoning in on that teeter-totter. Well, one of us would get on one end and the other one would get on the, oh, let me back up. There's like a letter M, and in each groove, and these are heavy metal teeter-totters. If one stood here and one stood here and you lifted it, you could get different levels of height according to where you put the bar and that M. So we would put it on the highest, and one of us would get on this seat of the teeter-totter and another one would get on this seat of the teeter-totter and promise each other that no one would jump off. Pinky swear and everything. This is fun. Never had so much fun in my, oh my goodness. There they go, jumping off the teeter-totter and running, laughing their dupes off, while the other one is like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They said they weren't going to do that. And yet here I am sitting on the ground on this seat of the teeter-totter, knowing that that was going to happen, but I did it anyways. And the truth of that matter is, sometimes the person that you're on the teeter-totter with wouldn't do that, but most times somebody was. And that was the fun of a teeter-totter, is putting that little bit of trust in that friend of yours. Was this going to be an uneventful, enjoyable ride, or were there going to be some rocky waters that we had to endure? And most of the time we knew rocky waters were ahead, but it was part of the fun of a teeter-totter. Don't go doing that at home, kiddies. If you're listening, don't do that today. We are from the 70s. We are trained professionals. Those days have come and gone. Do not try that at home. Although, as an adult, I might. If I found the right person. My 2 sisters, right? If I could get them on one now. But anyways, okay, that was really long, sorry. But anyways, that's what this is. We have this personality on this side of the teeter-totter and this personality on this side of the teeter-totter, and they are completely polar opposites. And that's what keeps a balance in my head. When I do stuff like that, that's what balances my brain. The first book we are going to talk about is the first gentleman I read about, and that would be Norm Macdonald. Now, a mostly true story. This is not a memoir, so he says. But when you go into this book, it kind of maybe is. The further that we get into the book, it kind of maybe isn't. But the stories that this man conjures up in that brain of his, sometimes I don't know why he took it to where he took it, and other times he just made me laugh. I found the book to be strange, odd, unique, believable, unbelievable, and above all, enjoyable. Norm Macdonald was a cast member of Saturday Night Live for a very little time, and during that time, I did think he was funny. I wasn't much of a fan for the Weekend Update. I never really was. I didn't feel like there was much they could do with that segment to make it funny in my eyes. Making fun of people is not fun to me. But Norm Macdonald, he'll even say it, he wasn't as popular as Adam Sandler or Will Ferrell, but nonetheless, he was still a crucial part of Saturday Night Live's history. And while he had his little tenure there, I certainly enjoyed his presence. I saw the book in my Audible feed, and I was like, you know, why not? So I did. And am I happy that I did? Yes, I'm happy that I did. It was an experience. It was a ride. It was entertainment. It was amusing. And I enjoyed it thoroughly. So no regrets on that one. The next book that I read that I didn't think that I was going to read is a book that whenever anybody speaks of this guy, they know he has written several books. And so they say, you need to just sit down and read one of his books. Kind of take a life lesson from him. So I never really would, but you know what they say about saying never, never say never. So I did. And that book is Kitchen Confidential, Anthony Bourdain. And to me, Anthony is a mysterious creature I know nothing about. He's kind of like that, a mysterious being to me. Don't know much about him, and don't know if I vibe with that kind of personality. Well, in reading this book, I definitely don't vibe with Anthony. Definitely don't. God rest his soul. He is just not the type of person I would generate towards. Doesn't matter. I'll still listen to what you have to say. And if I can get any kind of life lesson out of your words, then I'll take it for what it's worth. He is a self-proclaimed narcissist. So right off the bat, I don't know how well that works for me because he's not humble. He's not mild-mannered. He's not kind. He's everything opposite that teeter-totter. He is rude. He does not care what he says. He's vulgar. His language is through the roof. I'm saying to myself as I'm listening to this book, yeah, I'm definitely not digging you. How am I going to I'm not going to quit you. I'm going to hear what you have to say, but how am I going to come out of your book with something positive? Because it is my practice to try and not say a bad thing about a book. I try to respect the author and give the author his credits due. Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes a book is just that bad. But I always try to find something good in the bad. And I did. I found plenty of good things in this book. If I had to read the book all over again, I probably would. Yeah, I probably would. I don't know anything about restaurant kitchen life. I know a little bit from what I hear. The only kind of kitchen life that I really am experienced in is my own kitchen, and it's not professional. So we're not using the right knives, and we don't have shallots on hand, and we're not skilled in fish consumption or prep or the purchasing of. I don't take inventory of my stock in the kitchen, so that kind of thing. But I do come from business, so I do appreciate the business aspect of all of the different ways that they run their kitchen or their business. The camaraderie between the other employees did not impress me. I don't know why it has to be that way. Why does it have to be that way when people get around people? Why can't it be something other than that? Huh. Not good work environments, and I think unnecessary work environments. I don't think that doing all of the drugs and all of the drinking that Anthony, I'm going to say, boasts that he did high while cooking, I don't think that's a safe practice, and I don't think that's anything to write home about. Perhaps he's not trying to be proud of that aspect of his life. Perhaps he's just being honest and telling us how it is, how it was. I'm not going to say that I enjoyed this book in the same way that I enjoyed the Norm Macdonald book, but in its own weird way, quirky way, is weird the right word? I don't know. Its own quirky way, I'm going to say I'm going to take it for what it's worth, and yeah, I'm going to say I came out of it okay. Not impressed, just okay. So if I had to give it a 5-star rating, all my differences aside, I'm going to give it a 3. I'm going to give it a 3 because I did learn a thing or two from this book. I disapproved of certain things in this book. Really disapproved of certain things in this book. I was okay with some things, and some things I could relate to. So, all in all, it was a good book. If you get a chance to read this book or any of his books, I would say, yeah, go ahead, sit down, take the journey. That's how we grow as individuals. And so I'm going to say, coming out of those 2 books, am I a changed person? Yeah. Each time I read a book, I kind of change a little bit, whether it's a lot or a little bit. Something within me, within my demeanor, it might be a nudge, just a little nudge, but something about me comes out a little different when I finish a book. Whatever it is that you are reading, I hope that you are enjoying it thoroughly. I could not wait until I see you again. Right now, I'm off to the grind. Until we meet again, Bumpadita, Bumpadita, happy trails. That's my rendition of David Lee Roth and Van Halen, Happy Trails. Have a wonderful day, and until we meet again, know that I love you. Be well, be good, be reading, and may all your book dreams come true.